For most of modern history, Europe has been seen as the center of Christianity. But while Christian missions did stem from Europe to the rest of the world for centuries, the current reality is that the European Church is shrinking. As we read in Acts, Christianity first came to Europe in the time of Paul. In the 4th century, Christianity became the Roman state religion, which led to its religious and cultural significance across the continent. The 11th century brought about the divide between the East and West with the separation of Orthodox and Catholic practices. Then, famously, the Protestant Reformation impacted Western Europe in the 16th century. Wars between Christian factions rose, and so did those against the growing influence of Islam. And while European colonial expansion had devastating effects on people around the world, Christian influence still spread as European missionaries went to people groups in Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Fast forward to today, we no longer see Europe as the center of Christianity. While much of the rest of the world has become more Christian, Europe is becoming less. Europe makes up 9% of the world's population and 20% of the Christian population, percentages that are both declining. But 75% of Europeans still identify as Christian, equaling 552 million people. If we imagine those 552 million Christians as 100 people, 21 would be over the age of 64, much older than the average age of the global church, and only 16 would be under 15 years old. Christians in Europe are relatively well off, with 51 living on more than $100 a day, and none living on less than $10. They have good access to electricity, internet, secondary education, doctors, and proper nutrition. If we look at these 100 Christians' practices, 43 would be Catholic, and 36 would be Orthodox. In fact, Orthodox Christianity has experienced surprising growth over the past 50 years because of the fall of the Soviet Union. On the Religious Freedoms Index, Europe is the third most persecuted region in the world for Christians, mostly due to Russia's high government restrictions of worship outside of the National Orthodox Church. Now, let's dive deeper into two things affecting the European Church. The first is the major decline of Christianity in the region. Again, most of the population identify as Christian, but data shows that as places secularize, self-identification is the last thing to go. Most Europeans are baptized as infants and plan to be buried in a church, so may call themselves Christian their whole lives. But when we look at the amount of people who believe in God, or overall church attendance, we actually see a much sharper decline in faith. The next big change to look at is the influx of migrants to Europe from around the world. 42% are Christian. These migrants are reshaping the European Church, as many see their new home as a place for ministry. Most of the largest churches in Europe are migrant churches, with one of the largest in all of Europe being a Nigerian-led Pentecostal church in Kyiv. These migrant churches worship in different languages, come from different traditions, and invite their neighbors to experience community and Jesus with them. As we look to the future of the church in Europe, the growth of the migrant church brings hope. Additionally, there's a growing interest in more traditional practices of Orthodoxy and Catholicism, especially among young people. Our generation could be part of the revitalization and bounce back of the European Church.